So, first of all, let me tell you, I'm not trying to put any products on you. These are things that I use every single day and that I found them very, very useful. But I did add all the affiliate links in the description in case you find something very helpful. Now, if you're planning to move into your vehicle, I don't recommend you go buy a lot of things because what I did, I started buying things that I thought I was going to need, and then you just most of them you don't need, or you need something very, very different. So I think it's better if you just acquire the things that you need as you go. And also, I'm going to be sharing my personal care and my hygiene and a little bit of my beauty routine. So to my subscribers, welcome. And if you're a newbie here, this is me. Hi, my name is Julieta and I live in my car. I am an aspiring nomad artist and my dream is to travel the world doing plein air and making art in a studio. So I'm planning to get out of debt and save some money by living in my car. So if you are interested to see if I can make this dream happen, subscribe to my channel. Okay, so let's start from the front to the back. This tray. I mean, this is pretty handy, and I thought I was going to use it more than I actually do. It's very affordable, it is very simple, and you can put your iPad, you can put your phone, and you can have dinner or lunch or whatever. But I usually, because this car is not particularly comfortable in the front. It's okay for driving, but not for just hanging out. I'd rather go to the back. So I'm not using it very much. But this is the cool thing. You can put it right here. It doesn't take up much space. And you can actually use it to put your glasses or whatever. If you do have a comfortable front seat, then it's very, very convenient. So my front passenger seat organizer. Sir, and talk about this organizer the last time. I go back and forward with it because sometimes I like to have my this heap empty, but at the same time, having this here, I can put stuff that that I can keep within reach, and it's nice because it has this thing that you can cover everything and looks kind of neat. So yeah, this electric lunchbox is a food warmer, and I use it just sometimes as a cooler or as a bag to bring to like Target with some stuff. But yeah, you can warm food. I've used it a few times, and it kind of works with my beef patties, and they taste better because sometimes I bring beef patties from the day before, and I bring them to the library for lunch. And I put it in here. I warm them. I put a little bit of cheese. So it does the trick, but you have to wait like, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. It's just fine. It's nothing special. So I don't know if I would recommend it, but I like having this option. Now, this is one of my favorite things, and it's my muff. It's so simple and there's just nothing special about it, but it fits perfectly here in my car thingy. And it doesn't leak. This is the most important things because I put it in my lunchbox like this to bring to the library. And yeah, it can leak. And it's not that easy to find those actually. And this is great. Actually, I lost the first one I bought, and I lost, I think, one of the paneras that I went, and I bought the same one. And it keeps things warm for a while. So this is pretty great. But again, it's just kind of a personal thing. Then a stupid thing. Then my water bottles. I bought this one. You can buy this everywhere, and it's an expensive water bottle to buy if you're just gonna throw it away. But I kept them. I have this too since I bought them, like I don't know, a few months ago. I love the taste of the water when it comes from here. Fortunately, I have a couple of water fountains that I can get my water from. At Target, they have one at the library and at the gym. So I keep filling them with new water, and it tastes very fresh. This portable kettle. This is really great. It's small, it's retractable, and it boils very, very fast. I think in like a minute and a half, you have boiling water. It uses 700 watts, but that was not a concern for me because I don't have a power bank, so I use it at the library. Which brings me to the only con, which is it looks like a kettle, so it's not very stealthy, and I kind of feel weird when I'm using it at the library. So I kind of hide it like in the chair uh, underneath the table because it makes me feel that I'm doing something wrong. It's a good thing that it's really fast because by the time that I'm done prepping my coffee, the water is already boiling. So there are other options that are like little electrical kettles, portable electrical kettles that look like a mug. And those are much nicer. You can put it on top of your table and nobody's going to notice. And the problem with those is that they hold very little water, but I think I might find one that is actually good. So I'll keep you posted. But it is a great product. It's a really good kettle. So I do recommend it. This is the car shade. This car shade actually is for my Prius specifically. And it's great because it covers the whole thing. I really like it actually, but it's only for Prius. So yeah, if you don't have a Prius, you won't. It's no use for you. All right, let's go to the back of the car. This seat cover, but this seat cover I only got it because my seat was so stained. I spilled coffee once and I couldn't remove it. So yeah, and it looks fine to me. I don't know. I don't know how much better can it look with any other one. So I'm okay with it. This organizer is pretty cheap. So this one is a little bit torn, so I might have to replace it at one point. And there's millions on Amazon, so you have to choose the one that fits for you. But having an organizer here to me is very important, and it's very convenient. So this is like my nightstand where I have everything that I need when I go to bed. But it also have other things that I use during the day. And again, my car is very small, so I need places where I can have everything accessible. So yeah, this is my little night light. I use it as a night light, but I also use it when I need in my head, like I put it around my head when I have to find stuff or in the middle of the night. And this is pretty basic.
That's a great idea.
Probably many others better than this one. This is just a regular one. It's just it was the cheapest one with the best reviews because I do that a lot. So I research all the products, and if it's an expensive
That's a
product,
great
and make
idea.
sure that I go to YouTube and try to find reviews. So I read all the Amazon reviews, and I know that those are not always reliable because they are paid. But you can tell sometimes when there's a real person or not. And then if it's something expensive, I go to YouTube and try to find people who actually have used the product. Right. Let's move on. The iPad holder. This iPad holder it's great. I would love it
This
to
would be a very big
move
find,
like up and down, especially up.
making your
So
car
that's
into a
a
camper.
trick when I sit back here and I want to watch whatever on my iPad. It's just again very convenient. So the window shades, these are awesome, and I've seen many other creators that have them, and most people are super happy with them. And these ones they fit perfectly on my windows. Yeah, and I also have inside of here I have my rain guards, which are extremely necessary if you live in a car. Okay, now this is
This is
one
a
of my
find I
my
found.
and I use it for filming and to hold my phone in different areas of my car. I really love it, but I had to pair it with this other one. This is a magnet. They're all MagSafe, so these are the ones that you need to have the case with the magnet that's round. And I bought this case that I really love because you can stand your phone, and I think it's makes everything easier, especially when I'm at work and I want to watch YouTube on my breaks. So anyway, I love it because I also bought this extra rings that I could put in the ceiling of my car or anywhere in my
Okay.
car because I don't have any metal.
That's cool.
This Prius has no metal anywhere that I can see, like
Yeah, so you
here,
can
I
put
can
anything
put
in
any
there.
magnet. So I had to put these little rings, and I could put it anywhere in my car and pick
Yeah.
any nice shot that I want, and it's very firm, so it really holds the phone, and I really love it. I'm thinking about getting a new one that I'm gonna keep on the front of the car, and the other one is I'm gonna keep it in the back. And this is the most important place. That's where I put my
What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Today I'm going to be talking about how you can try to stay cool when you're camping on wheels, and a few ideas that will be good, that's not very costly, in order for you to in order for it to make things a little bit more comfortable. if you are urban camping. Now, something I did this weekend is I have a tent that I had bought my son last year for uh Christmas, I believe. And it was for his bed to go on his bed, but it wound up feeling claustrophobic to him. And he haven't used it since. Well, what I was going to do this morning was sort of last night I was going to camp out in there, and then this morning I was going to, like, tell about my experience camping out in there. But I felt like as I was putting it up, I felt like it would probably be offensive. So I just let it go, let the idea go, and I just followed my gut on that. I just let the idea go. And but what I was thinking was that though I feel that I have a very whole lot in common with people who are just starting over, just feeling their way through new terms of life, just sort of being exposed to something that's completely new to them. There is no particular um, roadmap of how you exactly yourself would do things. Everybody would have their own way of doing things. And I feel like I have a lot in common, but everything that I have in common is with starting over throughout my spiritual awakening. And the more I sort of put these uh, analogy together with it sort of coming out to sort of the same thing going on, being on your particular journey in isolation, one on the road, one um uh spiritually and mentally, emotionally, and everything. This is how I feel I can relate, especially with how many times I've started over in my life, um, physically, because of so much, with me being an empath, um, so much being used before finding out who I am and why I was constantly attracting a certain type of person and the same type of reasons why some people go on the road. Um, some people are usually sometimes they're getting out of relationships, long-term relationships, and they don't have anywhere else to go that they feel that they don't want to get back into a controlling situation. Though I've been here before, I've always moved into an apartment and I was still in a codependent state of mind when I was doing different things. But as the more I get to know different people and hear their backstory, because a lot of times you might feel like somebody is just saying stuff that you've heard before from another urban camper or apartment on wheels or whatever. But then they'll say this one thing and it stands out more than everybody else. That just one little thing. And it's just like you can't, they can't say, okay, well, I put this on the video, I said this on the video, and I stamped it here, I stamped it here. They don't know exactly what that one thing is that anybody independently is looking for. And that's what I said when I came to the end of it, because even though I was thinking, I don't I don't ever want to be offensive, but you're going to be offensive to some people sometime. It's always been so much easier for me to see a picture when I'm not standing right here up close to it. It's always clearer to see a picture when I'm standing further away from it. Hence the isolation, the the mental emotional isolation. And had not it been for my son, like I went to a Salvation Army to get acquire initial housing before I built my way up to being from a codependent state to now, paying a full rent, paying everything on my own, no codependency, just, living in my dream apartment. And this has came together over like 15 years time. But actually 16 years because he just turned 16. Um I just feel that as time goes on, there's nothing I can particularly say. There's no way that I can say what God has shown me, but only throughout time can I show, which I'm only proving something to myself and more than anyone. But in attracting my tribe, because I have seen several people who actually live this lifestyle since I started putting out these videos. I've seen a few people either started back putting out this kind of content from when they stopped years ago, or they just straight started because they'll start out the video like as a true somebody, as a true urban camper that isn't looking from the outside in. So I've seen that. And so I'm like, I know that the enemy, he does things to derail us and everything. But in the meantime, other people see it and they have a much bigger audience than me. So um, I can only say that everybody brings um, their own personality, their own story, their own, just like it's certain talk shows, it's a talk show. They're talking about the same subject every day, maybe, but with different guests. Everybody bring their own intake. Everybody bring their own what they can offer to the situation. And I can also, I also have direct analogies in contrast with what I am experiencing straight after my awakening, put myself out here as these people are putting themselves out here and not coming with a attitude of feeling like there is any um uh they're not better than me and I'm not better. We're just we're all on our own separate journeys, and you know um they might even be better off because they're saving and as they go along towards a bigger goal or whatever. And I'm just sort of, but um in the meantime, that is my take on that. And maybe it wasn't necessary to say, but as you get to know somebody, I don't feel like they should hold back based on um what might be exactly too much, what might be exactly appropriate. If they feel like it's in them to come out, then evidently maybe I haven't gotten past that point yet. As time goes on, maybe I will. I mean, I'm sure I will. Just like everything is a journey. So that's being said, I had got Julia the Nomad artist because she is a great content creator. I've seen several of her videos, and she has a really realistic approach to her dream, her goals. And I love these products that she is advertising because they're not being advertised because someone has offered her, which ain't nothing wrong with it, but they'll offer different products and then you just sort of promote them. They'll give you this fridge and then you just promote it. And I think that's a great way to sort of, build on as you go on, because as you go, as you grow, there should be some perks. And I think that's great. But I think it's even more like when somebody's just starting out, for people who don't have that much money and you're just starting out and you didn't have that much money, the things that you find on your own that wasn't said like in the big community, like everybody know about this, everybody know about this, but things that she found on her own as time has went on that don't cost that much, that has made her life so much easier, as somebody who who would take the time and actually look through all of her video, not all of her videos, but a lot of her videos, because I'm not looking for one particular thing. Um, I felt that the things that she did have to offer would be very small finds that will make a very big difference. Very inexpensive finds that will make a very big difference. And believe me, I know. I certainly know, somebody who has been building my life back up brick by brick, on my own. And as we all do. And so with that said, I do want to offer a few more things that some of her comment sections have said in a few of her videos. And one is, um, that's the second video. Okay. Okay, that's the second video. But as she goes on, which I'm not gonna show the whole thing of what she was saying, she was talking about her healing journey and how she is on this diet and she's between that space where she's doing all the work, but she's not seeing any result. Just like the period of time that goes beyond, I mean, that goes by when you're saving as much as you can, but you're not starting to see it build yet. And so she goes on to say that she is at a place in time where she read about in the book, and it was called something in particular, but it's like being in a ghost town and you're building, nobody's able to see what you're doing because it's not visibly showing yet. But that's the part where you got to push your way through that part in order to get to the other side. And it's sort of like when I started growing my twists, I had my hair in twists. You would know it now, but still. But I had my hair in twists. And as I was growing the twists out, it looked really like, oh my god. I thought to myself, "Oh my god, ugh, I don't like this." But it's this part that it goes and it's just like this long, and it's gonna take about a year for you to even get to the length where you can even manage it, put it in ponytail, make it look decent or whatever. But you know what you're trying to get to. You know how long it's gonna take to get there, but you gotta still push. And that's where I'm at right here. And same with her, that's where she was at in this video. And same with a lot of people as they start their journey into something new, something untapped, something that they can't go and talk to somebody about in their family, something that you're doing by yourself. You know what God has put on your heart, or at least encouraged your heart towards. It might sound like so far off, but you don't realize that with God behind you, you don't know what day is going to be the breakthrough, but you just know with Him behind you that you're going to get everything out of every day on the way. And so that's my take on her. And so I'm going to move on to what the biggest part of this video is about, which is where we're headed in this season is being hot in a car. And this could help anybody, even when you on those picnic days and you get sick of his or her family. I'm going to the car. You got the cooler in the car. Uh-oh. You got the cooler in the car. You got certain things in the car, and you can see how you make them work. Uh-oh. And so I dropped my thing. And so I dropped my mug. And so anyway, she got some great ideas and I want us to check her out. Then I got some great ideas that was in her comment section and in Julia's comment section. And so Julia, the nomad artist, and we're going with Elizabeth on the bread now. And even though this was made a year ago, I've been through several of her videos, and
With my Subaru Forester.
she got some great content too. But this was something that I felt was good for now.
full time, both in the winter and in the summer. Right now, it is July, and there is a heat wave in the western part of the United States. It is extreme heat. There are places where it is 117, 120, whatever, just ridiculous. So, how do you manage the heat? How do you handle the heat when you live in a vehicle? This is a very common question I get, especially now during the summer. So, really, there's two different strategies on this that I found working for me over this last year that I'm living in a car. The first is actually just literally managing the heat. You're in the heat, you're stuck in there for whatever reason. How do you deal with it? I'm going to talk about that. The second is escaping the heat. And this I think is the best strategy and what I'm doing right this second. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so a lot of the things with handling the heat, beating the heat, managing the heat are very odd. But it can be hard to make these decisions when you're super hot, right? So the first thing is shade, parking in the shade, and also getting shade for yourself. But I think people don't value parking in the shade as much as they should, especially when they're thinking about, oh, I have solar panels.
That's
My
this is why I started
like
this so early,
go inside. We're going to talk about going inside.
because you would
You
think solar
know, you
would
want
be
try your hardest to have your
what you're
car
holding
parked in the
on
shade.
to.
Even if you go inside somewhere and you're in the AC all day and then you come out to a horribly hot car, it's going to be so hard for you to sleep because this car is just going to like radiate heat on top of you. So finding a place to park in the shade, if it is over 90 degrees Fahrenheit, you that is incredibly valuable. So how do you do that? My number one favorite place is at a park that has trees. There are some streets that have big trees. There are places also that have solar panel like shades for parking lots.
And you can
And there are
plug in at
places that
some parks too.
like hang out in my car inside of a parking garage underground because it's a very bad air. But there are parking garages that are above ground, so it's got ventilation. You can park at the edge, and then you're getting fresh air there, even if you're staying in your car. But probably you're not staying in your car in that situation. You're going into whatever it is where that parking garage is. But shade for your car, super valuable. The second thing is having fans. Now I have USB rechargeable fans. I tried both rechargeable fans and batteries. I found that it just churns through batteries. I thought that it would be good for have batteries because then I can have batteries on hand and I wouldn't need to charge it, kind of a thing. But I don't think that works very well. Now you might use rechargeable batteries. That would be an option. But I have USB fans. I actually right now have three. I've been trying out new ones because my old ones that I used last
Ryobi,
winter died. These are
they
cheap.
have an actual rechargeable fan.
Just
Ryobi.
this fan will sit here on the dash. And it has three settings, and I just keep it on the low setting. It charges via USB-C. And it has a clip, which I don't actually ever use. I like it because it can sit. It fits perfectly on here. And this is the thing is everybody's car is different, and how your dash works and where you can hang things is going to be different. What configuration is. So this is I'm sitting in the front seat fan. When I'm going to bed, this is my tiny little fan. And I think it's important to have actually two different fans for this because then you can charge the other fan when you're using a fan. Right. So during the day, I can charge this fan, and then at night, I charge the other fan. You see what I'm saying? And I charge via my battery. I have a power station battery, so it doesn't charge off my car. My car doesn't need to be running. So you can see back there, there's a little thing attached. This fan is kind of neat because the feet of it detach from this part, the fan part. So I can take that off and recharge it.
That's
It's
why
fully recharged.
everybody have one of
And then
those in the car.
get to where it goes.
Most
And the reason
computers have that same thing.
is I found that when you have those little things that hook onto something, they get metal fatigue and they break. And they break before the fan breaks. So I
Something about how most creators have that same thing in their car. Some things that you'll never see in the you know how you go to different creators content and it says you can purchase this product through them and you can get a discount or whatever. And what I've noticed is nobody has had that product to in order to show their audience that the company has sent to them and promote in their product review. So that means that everybody that I've seen with that has bought it for word of mouth. So since every time I see somebody in a car, no matter if they are in the cold or hot, I always see those either in their storage thing. It's like an essential thing, and it's the same one with the beak. And I never see nobody advertising this, so that must mean that it's a really good buy. And you got to imagine that it's not that expensive because I have a rechargeable fan that I have for when storms come or whatever, where you can use the battery or you can actually, it has a solar plug and all that. Not solar, it has a lighter plug and all that to it or whatever. And I bought that for under $30. So something smaller than that on Amazon with the beak, you can imagine would be cheaper. And since everybody seems to have it, it seems like it's a good buy. As you get further along, what you'll notice is it's and something that a lot of people who live in their car expire for inspire for is that to become such a creator on YouTube from their car experience, something I have even actually encouraged is, how your being in your car can also make you money, could become your job. After the first few months, you get a certain amount of followers, a certain amount of views, and then it goes word of mouth. Then you start meeting people at different camping events that you'll hear about, and then that like explodes you, and then people start sending you products in order for you to actually just be using, and then they'll say your product names up under it or whatever. But so usually when they first start out, I always see where they're talking like me, and then they might just like they're talking when they first start, they might uh they might bring up something and be like, "Look, check this out," or whatever. But then, like a year or two down the not two, but a year down the line, you'll look and then it'd be like, "Check these out in my thing," and these are good products because you know it was sent to me and I've reviewed it and I've been using it or whatever. But the difference in that is always that it's always something that costs more. It's always something that is worth the person who's making it to send it to them to promote it, because who want to send somebody, here, promote this, it's only $30, but here, promote this, if it's good, word of mouth already. So because they would be sending out a lot of their products like that, right? But if you have a $200 refrigerator and say, here, we're going to get 5 people that's got 1 million followers, and y'all promote it, and then that's a lot more effective. So, anyway, I was saying that because this is a good fan, evidently.
I really like this idea. The third thing that I'm actually testing out and I haven't decided about is one of these neck fans. The issue with it for me personally is I
And you can get those from the dollar store. I got one from the dollar store.
I'm gonna put my hair out. So I think it may be totally fine. This is great just to have
You
another
get what you pay
option.
for.
If the idea is that you always want to have more than one fan because if one is charging up, you have something
And
else to
that
use.
looks like a good.
With this also is I can take this outside the car. I can walk around with it on. Also good for hot flashes and things like that too. Okay, the next thing is tinted windows. So I have tinted windows, which may not look like it because you can see through, but if you go out here, you can see, yeah, very dark tinted windows. They're not super dark. Actually, I think what was it, 35%? I wanted to be able to see out at night. That was a big thing for me. But this is ceramic tint. Ceramic tint has more UV blocking, whatever, I don't know. And so because of that, it keeps your car cooler. And I have noticed that it really does keep the car cooler. My cooler is right there. And I definitely don't want all my eyes to melt when it's hot. And it really makes a difference. The light coming in that window that's right above. We also, though, I mean, obviously ceramic tint is expensive. It's cost hundreds of dollars to just get the back tinted. I didn't do these front windows because the laws regarding that are complicated and I'm going to many different states. I don't want to do all that. The next thing is being able to cover your windows. So I have, yeah, you can use Reflectix and make things yourself. I tried doing that. I found it too frustrating. So I just bought window covers. They're not perfect by any means. However, they have one side black and one side reflective surface. If I'm just sitting somewhere and chilling out and it's hot, then I will put the reflective side out. Oh my gosh, huge difference.
This is a big point because a lot of people put it the wrong way, not knowing that that is what makes the difference.
That is getting the sun. Huge difference, even with a tinted window. So it's like an add-on to the tinted windows. And then of course the black side is what I put up at night. I do that even with tinted windows because the problem with tinted windows is light inside here. It's like people can still see in, right? So I still put those up to kind of add it on. The next thing is a spray bottle. Okay, I have a spray bottle. This is like the kind that can be used for chemicals or something else because it's empty when you get it, so it can be you put water in it. And if I'm hot, I spray this on all the exposed skin I have, and then my fan or the wind pulls me off so much. It
That
really
is a
makes a
great
difference
idea,
in being
especially with the
comfortable.
fan.
So, and this is something that's super cheap and easy. I
Because
actually
I've
like this one.
noticed in a hurricane when the lights are out that those spray bottles, oh my goodness, especially if you're fanning yourself.
Or both. So you could open your windows at night, no one will know. So this car, I don't have my rain guards on yet. You can see there's no rain guards here. I did on my Honda Civic that I had before this car that I lived in. I own the rain guards. I haven't put them on yet. I'm planning to put it on hopefully in the next week. But I have a sunroof, which I'm not going to open right now because it's getting direct sun and it makes it hot in here. But at night, what I do if I want more air is I can open this up and then open up the window part of it. And my windows are open and no one can tell. This is amazing. Also, you open that up, it lets all the hot air out because heat rises, obviously. That's a great thing to do once the sun goes down. You open up that, all the windows, bam, the car is cooling off. Huge difference. But I leave that cracked at night. Now, in some parts of the country, you're gonna have to deal with bugs. So I do have mosquito netting that's in the back. It's not up because I'm in a part of the country. I'm in California right now, and I'm in a dry part of California. So there's no mosquitoes here. There's no biting whatevers. There's no biting little no seums. There's no biting flies. It's not an issue, but I do mosquito netting in case it is. Where how I'm gonna hook that up, I haven't decided if I'm just gonna try to hook it up to this to keep them out of the car completely. But it's actually a netting that goes around your bed. It's made for about.
I saw an older woman who had got a big old mosquito net, right? And instead of buying mosquito netting for each part of the car or whatever, she actually cut it and then got the magnets to put around. Like when she opened the back of her vehicle, then she put the magnets around that. If she have a car window open, then she just put the magnet around those. And same with her sunroof. And then I did run a a show last week where this gentleman he had the one I was talking about reminds me of I could see the excitement coming, the thrill coming out of him as like a kid. But anyway, he had showed where he had put the actual mosquito net on the thing where it comes like a window, but he had cut some space out and then where it have a zipper, so if the window pops out, then you could put it through there and then zip it accordingly so that the mosquitoes can't get through. Now, here's a couple more ideas that some of the people in her comment section and the other young lady's comment section had about cooling off, which is a big deal. We are, I mean, everybody can really use these, but anyway, I thought this was really good idea was especially if you stand in the car, um, to soak your feet in water, cold, cool water, and it's an instant cool off. Isn't that a good? And then also, if you put some of the melted ice in there, but then I like how she did that spray bottle, um, because you can think of different ideas that you would have when you have a blackout. I'm telling you, we had that, what's that called? Helen, that Hurricane Helen and we was out of water and hot water and we was without electricity for 2 weeks. All those trees was down, the electric cords was out, was all on the ground like spaghetti cords. And since then, I mean, I got so traumatized that I started buying all kind of stuff in order to um if anything was to happen. Like I got my son first, I got him the battery operated fans where you use the Duracell batteries and then you also have the cord that come with it. It's a pretty big size. And then also, those lights that look like Christmas lights. Well, I got them to decorate my mirror, but also I got them battery operated so that we had a power outage and they can plug up. Also, I had got these here ice let me show you guys, because this is a really good idea for the for cool off. I didn't even open my blinds yet because I was still getting ready this morning. I get up at 6 o'clock to start getting ready. All right. And so I got these here packs right here. These. You get two of these for 40 from Amazon, right? And I'm telling you, we have had a power outage. I keep them in the freezer. I keep two in the freezer and two in the deep freezer. And with the deep freezer, because I don't open it at all, it stayed for that 2 days. But with this here freezer, because I was having to open it and close it. I was having to open and close it. It stayed for a day and a half. So, but those are really good. And so I had got that. Of course, it's a good idea to keep a cooler on hand. Um, of course, a lot of canned foods. Oh, on a can opener that not the electric can opener, the hand can opener, hand cranky can opener. And I'm just thinking about, hey, these are good things to have in the car. But that's good for you to have, even, put in your cooler in the car. And I just thought about that. And then they have the little packs that, like, I got the big ones, but they got the little ones that you can get like 5 packs for like $15, and you can put one in your little small cooler or two of them in those, and then make that into a small fridge. Even if you have like your mug to put in there with ice in it, and then you could pour some ice in your cup or whatever. And then what else should I get? Batteries, of course. I had to stock up on batteries, and you see, the more batteries you buy, the more you can save. And yeah, and then also so that your cooling towels, you know, make a cool towel and put on your neck every morning after my son get up the second time after school. And then what I do is I make him breakfast because he don't eat it the first time. So to get him in the habit of washing his face every morning, I always put a rag on the table, and he likes the smell of fresh rags or whatever. So anyway, I always keep those on the table. So I always make it real cold and pour a little cold water on it. So and then fold it right there. And then he always, to wake himself all the way up, he always put it on his neck first. Then wash his face. But anyway, that's fine because the night before when he brushes teeth, he does the same thing. So it's not like his next 30. But anyway, also the waterproof pillowcases was a good idea. And the waterproof sheets and stuff is for the uh condensation that you get in a vehicle or whatever, and then a dehumidifier. I was talking about that last week. Yep. And oh, and then the Ryobi rechargeable fan that can recharge by solar. So that's, and also something you're gonna need for sure. Something I got my son one, then I got me one, is a weather radio. Because when we had that first blackout, the Helen, my son had got one from his father, and my son wanted one. I'm like, a weather radio for what? And so anyway, but I found out quick after, because we was able to listen to those updates, and we was able to listen to the radio station, and it charged by solar, and you can crank it up in the back. You can get those from Target, Walmart, and I made sure to get me one too. That was like, oh, and also the portable TV that you could plug um into your in a car you can plug it into your lighter thing, but you can charge it on your electricity, and then you can actually put it in your power power pack. And then so if you don't get those little generators like the ones they have on here, the big ones, you can actually get the little power packs. And I got my son one that has the different kinds of charger on, and I got me just a little simple one that I use for my with my laptop in the kitchen or whatever, if it goes down or whatever, but for emergencies too. So that's something you can start off with, is those little um things. So anyway, we got 10 more minutes left, and I do want to give my scripture for the day before I do anything else. Um and that is Proverbs 6 and 9. So let me give you guys that because I got 10 minutes left and they will cut me off. So that's how long will thy sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Make sure I have the right one. Proverbs 9. That was Proverbs 6 and 9, right? How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Okay, so um that's what the Lord gave me. So I take out of that, like when we get too comfortable in our lives and it's nothing that we are pushing ourselves towards, no motivation, no, we're not pushing ourselves towards something greater, we're not challenging ourselves, then there is really something wrong with that. I found that before I had my awakening, I found that I was just really going along to get along. And the problem with that is, even though you can be saved, you can be trying to live right or whatever, but if you're not doing certain things to challenge yourself, then you can't pass anything along. You don't have anything to pass along. Now, I can talk about journaling and what that brought to my life. Now, I can talk about meditating and the different ways that I do and what that brings, and how positive of a challenge, a change that has been in my life. And actually, not only can I talk about it, but it shows, it comes out in my essence, it comes out in my surety of myself that I didn't want to have. Even when I talk about different things, stating how I don't want to offend anybody. And I know that a lot of times that shows a weakness or whatever. People see that as a weakness or whatever because you don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, or you don't want to, but you know it's going to happen. Somebody somewhere is going to be offended. But that's not how what I'm setting out to do. Um, Even in that, I know how much progress I've made in people pleasing. I know I don't set out to people please, but I don't set out to hurt anybody. And I also um definitely am not codependent anymore. It actually it actually uh leaves a bad taste in my mouth just saying codependent. It's something that I don't inspire to be, and that's something that is not. Faith without works is dead. So that shows about sleeping too much. It's mandatory we get a certain amount of rest. But when you're just sleeping to the point of slumber, then you can't be as focused as you should be. You can't be as productive as you should be. Uh, you can't um, you can't get as much out of a day as you should. Even somebody who is in the most crucial of states, there's something to press towards. Someone who even they have now where a person who can't even move their hands, they have a thing where they can put something in their mouth and they actually can blow towards the words. Is something always evolving in someone who is living a God-fearing life, trying to be Christ-like. And it showed we always moving forward, and that's how our fruit of our labor comes to upon us to uh, keep driving us. And it's also how people can see our us bearing fruit that would show the goodness of the Lord in our lives. So that's what I would get out of that is um, Proverbs 6:9. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Just, being too stagnant, just being too, when you're not happy in a relationship, when you're not happy with your life, and the Lord came that we would have an abundant life and we would have life and more abundantly. I used to be Muslim because I got married into the Muslim culture, and their one of their mottos is, well, at least my ex-husband's was, life is struggle. And um but that's not my God. My God, everybody has a different God. And I have a right to talk about that because that was 4 years of my life. I had children in that and everything. Um, but the God I grew up knowing and the God that I know now is about me becoming less of the world and more in Him. And in doing that, then I get power that the world can't give me, a power of joy, something that can't be bought, a power of freedom, something that can only be given through a certain kind of striving. Freedom doesn't come in slumber and sleeping. You can't get freedom like that. You have to move forward for freedom, move forward in the Lord for more freedom, move forward on your narrow path, their journey, and my journey, in my eyes, is uh, not the same, but it is able to be compared because I am discovering myself, my world, my um, contribution, who I'm supposed to be, who I was supposed to be a long time ago. That's been getting derailed by people who set out to purposely stop me, that was supposed to love me, that I was taking real advice from because I thought that's who I was supposed to be taking advice from. But we're not supposed to, after a certain age, we're supposed to look towards the hills from which come our help. And our help on our own personal journey at some point isn't um, supposed to be met through people. It's supposed to be met through the path we choose because we all have free will. And in choosing God and choosing my God, I have chosen the narrow path that has taken a lot longer to get where I would I would see as uh on earth success, but has been so much more worth it for my spiritual success and my own personal freedom and um first time of being in true love for myself, where I won't settle, where I have boundaries, real boundaries that um cannot be moved. And I have real standards that nobody can buy because I have paid too much of a price for them. So, with that said, after getting all deep on y'all, when y'all just trying to find out how to stay cool in your car, I hope you guys join me tomorrow. And I'll see you then. Peace.